Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something that is literally touching every single facet of our lives. We're going to explore the immediate psychological and economic shockwaves of artificial intelligence. So let's just dive right in. If I were to ask you right now, what is the single most consequential thing we should be talking about as a society? Believe it or not, the answer isn't politics and it isn't whatever is dominating the current news cycle. It's the rapid speed of AI technological displacement. This isn't some sci-fi concept reserved for the year 2050. This is absolutely the most important topic of our time. So let's start with section 1, the AI job shock. Because this isn't just a future problem, right? It's happening right under our noses. Take these early indicators, for example. In one fell swoop, a single company recently replaced 5,000 customer service jobs with AI. 5,000! And get this, for the first time in 50 years, we're actually seeing high schoolers getting hired over college students. Why? Because those specific, highly educated skill sets are the exact ones being automated away first. This displacement is happening right now, all across our economy. To really wrap our heads around the scale of what's coming, we need to talk about a specific number, 8 million. Now, do you remember the devastating global economic crash of 2008? You know, the sheer panic and the massive economic pain we all felt? Well, that massive, system-wide event resulted in the loss of roughly 8 million jobs in the United States. I want you to keep that number in mind, because that is our historical baseline for a massive economic shock. But consider a second 8 million. And this is wild. This number represents the jobs in just one single sector, driving. We're talking truck drivers, Uber drivers, and taxi drivers. Experts predict self-driving AI will eliminate these 8 million jobs over just the next 10 to 14 years. Think about that. We are talking about 2008-level job losses stemming from just a single industry. So why is this happening so inevitably? Well, it really just comes down to cold, hard business logic. If you own a business, human labor means 8-hour shifts, escalating healthcare costs, and, frankly, human error. But robot labor, that gives you 24/7 continuous operation, zero healthcare costs, significantly cheaper insurance because machines just make vastly fewer mistakes. Plus, you can actually depreciate the asset on your taxes. The incentives to replace human labor are just irresistible. And the gap in how we learn is staggering. Human learning requires word transfer. If I want to learn something from a book, it takes hours of reading. But machine learning, it's like a hive mind. Look at Boston Dynamics for a fascinating example. If a visual AI robot learns a new task in a factory from a human just once, it instantaneously updates the entire network. Every robot in that global hive mind knows it immediately. We learn slowly. Machines learn instantly across their entire network. All right, moving on to section 2, the psychology of displacement. Okay, let's dive into what this actually does to the human mind. Our brains are fundamentally predictive devices. We spend our lives predicting what's going to happen next just so we can feel secure. But our jobs aren't just about money. They represent meaning, dignity, and a real sense of agency. So when our labor is suddenly no longer needed, our predictive brains get this massive, jarring shock. We literally lose our compass. And let's completely dismantle a huge myth right now. The idea that only blue-collar workers are at risk. Absolutely not true. We are already seeing highly paid experts, people making $5 to $10 million a year in hyper-specialized fields like quantum computing, being rendered unemployed by shifting AI technologies. White-collar workers are facing rapid displacement just as fast. No one is entirely immune to this. We have to agitate this problem even further because society is already highly vulnerable. Look at the stats. We currently have record numbers of men aged 25 to 35 living at home and completely out of the workforce. Up to 30% of young men recently surveyed have never even asked a woman out. Instead, they're falling into heavy daily gaming and ordering Uber Eats. This widespread lack of purpose is already happening, and AI is going to pour massive amounts of gas on this fire. Which brings us to section 3, echoes of the past. Now, you might be thinking this is unprecedented, but we've seen this exact pattern before. Back during the 1800s Luddite rebellion in the UK, massive job displacement happened due to new mercantile machines. Society just couldn't adapt fast enough, leading to a profound grief period of loss. And how did people react? Exactly how you'd expect when survival is threatened, viscerally. Rioting, smashing machines with hammers, firebombing businesses, and literally threatening the lives of company owners. And how did the government respond to all this chaos? Well, the UK government actually passed laws making the destruction of machines punishable by capital punishment. Let that sink in. They literally hung people to protect the growth of the economy. And what's really fascinating here is that the exact same cycle of destruction and harsh government overreaction repeated just 15 years later with the invention of wheat thresher machines. It is a relentless historical cycle of displacement, panic, and extreme reaction.
So, where are we heading now? Section 4, the race to AGI.
Despite the societal dangers we just explored, the forces propelling this technology forward are practically unstoppable. It all comes down to a massive dual leverage, the carrot and the stick. The carrot is the potential for trillions of dollars in sheer economic profit for whoever builds the ultimate AI models. The stick, that's the immense geopolitical threat, the fear that if we don't build it first, a global rival like China will run the world. Because of this extreme pressure, there is virtually zero focus on safety or protecting displaced workers. The race cannot stop.
So how much time do we actually have? The clock is absolutely ticking. Elon Musk predicts artificial general intelligence, or AGI, will arrive in 3 to 5 years. Kurzweil has steadfastly pointed to the year 2029 for 2 decades now. Even Geoffrey Hinton, a true pioneer of the field, estimates the years 2030 to 2040. The consensus is incredibly clear. We have very little time to prepare ourselves.
But there is a way forward. Section 5, the ultimate survival skill. All right, here is the ultimate mic drop moment for our explainer today. Listen to this. I don't believe most people will be replaced by an AI. They'll be replaced by somebody who knows how to use AI. That is the secret right there. Rapid retooling and adaptation is the absolutely essential and really the only way forward. To successfully retool, we have to fundamentally shift our mindset from managing circumstances to designing a life. Most people spend their lives just managing their circumstances, which naturally leads to constant, heavy stress. But humans are inherently built to be creators. When we embrace our nature as creators, we shift from stressed management to empowered design. We take our power back. And the absolute ultimate tool for a creator is pattern recognition. This is the vital skill of identifying historical and natural cycles. You see, when you recognize a pattern, you completely eliminate the fear of unprecedented chaos. Think about the extreme political polarization today. People panic thinking it's totally unprecedented, but pattern recognition shows us this perfectly mirrors the vicious political eras of John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. Recognizing the pattern dissolves the panic.
Just look at the historical discovery of the seasons. It's brilliant. Before recognizing this natural pattern, humanity consisted of fearful hunter-gatherers who never knew if they'd survive the year. But once we recognized the repeating cycle of spring, summer, fall, and winter, we knew exactly when to plant and harvest. We shifted into stable, powerful agricultural societies. Pattern recognition turns terrifying uncertainty into absolute power.
So, to summarize everything we've covered, here is your concrete roadmap for arming yourself and the next generation. Step 1. Stop merely managing your stress. Step 2, step up and become a creator, designing your life. And step 3, master pattern recognition to anticipate cycles rather than fear them. If you learn rapidly and follow these logical steps, you can win no matter what happens with technology. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. In a world where basic human labor is no longer needed, will you succumb to the psychological shock or will you step up and create? The choice is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this empowers you to boldly explore your own creative potential in the new AI age. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.